Hey, what is up, guys? This is Harrison Barron, the Money Entrepreneur. Now, in this video, I want to share with you guys how to go from position, 30 to 40, all the way up to the first page of Google and possibly even the first spot on Google. Now, if you don't know where you stand on Google's rankings, I'm going to show you guys everything on my computer, and ultimately, we're going to do this in real time. Now, how do I know this works? This is something that we deploy for all of our clients, and it consistently helps them rank at least on the first page of Google constantly over and over and over again. Sometimes we even get to the first spot on Google, and I want to show you guys exactly the process that we use that helps us get all the way there. Now, typically you're going to have to do this 1 or 2 times if you really want to get that first spot on Google, but I can almost guarantee that you're going to go from the 3rd or 4th page of Google all the way in spot number 40, all the way to the first page almost consistently if you follow this exact process. Now, this isn't unheard of, but for some reason, nobody seems to be teaching this, or this is a reminder if you've already done this to go back and do all of this. So let's jump into my computer here, and I'm going to show you the exact process. Now, in this video, or this YouTube video, I'm going to show you guys a website that we have been working on called Bottle and Ash. Now, we have a VA currently working on this, and they pretty much do all the work. We give them keywords to go after and things like that, but that's really it. We don't really do too much else with it. And it's called Bottle and Ash, and it's a cigar and bourbon website. It just has a lot of really, really good information because I and my other partners in this website happen to really like cigars and bourbon. So we figured, why not start a website on it, and we'll let it grow for a couple of years and see what happens with it. Why not, right? And this is your Google Search Console. If you're unfamiliar with this, definitely go check out one of the videos that we have on here where it just covers everything that you need to know about Google Search Console. But the thing that you're looking out for, right, and this is some pretty impressive growth for a website that's really been around for less than a year now. We are going to go and we are going to click average position. And this is really going to give us the best information possible. And none of this graph actually matters at all in any of this. What really matters is these positions down here. And I'm just going to pull this out to 50 positions, and you're going to see clicks, impressions, and positions, right? This is all really good stuff. Now, right off the bat, I want to go for things that have a lot of impressions, but low clicks. That usually means it's not ranking #1 on Google. For example, right here, do cigars go bad, right? So all you're going to do is double click that, do cigars go bad. It's actually going to show you what page is coming up first. So you're going to click this. It'll bring up, you can go to the page, and then you can actually see, can cigars go bad? How do you tell, right? It's something that, we know there's mold, there's bugs inside of them if they get too warm and all this kind of stuff, right? They start to eat away at the tobacco inside, and this is all information that I already have, but, right, if you look at it, we get a lot of impressions, but we really don't get many clicks, and we're in position number 9.7, which is teetering on 10. Now, how do you know where you stand? Just simply grab this, go up to Google, and type in do cigars go bad, right? Holtz.com comes up #1, famous cigars, right? And somewhere on here, we may or may not even show up on the first page. Bottle and Ash, perfect. Can cigars go bad? How do you tell? Bottle and Ash, perfect. That is exactly what I'm looking for. So we are currently ranking in position 10, 9.7, which usually means floating between 9 and 10, right? This is currently, usually position 10 is all the way at the bottom. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're in position 9. Perfect. And, the winning one, does cigars go bad? Yes, only if they are not stored in ideal conditions. Cigars are not perishable like fruits and vegetables. Premium handcrafted cigars actually remain fresh or at least smokable indefinitely if they're stored correctly. Perfect. That's really, really, really good information. But we're not getting that many clicks, and we're position 10. So how do we get to position #1? And this is kind of going to be a simple little process that we follow over and over and over again. And right, if we actually go down here and we click on this, can cigars go bad? It's going to pull up the blog post, right? Can cigars go bad? How do you tell, right? Humidity, what causes cigars to go bad? Excess moisture, insufficient moisture, right? These are all really good things. Now, right off the bat, I can tell a couple things aren't done 100% correctly. So, can cigars go bad? This should be a header. This should be humidity, right? Excess moisture, insufficient moisture, bad smell, overly dry or too damp, right? Stale taste, cigar mold, store properly. Like, these are all really good things, and actually things that really can cause a cigar to go bad. But there's a couple things I need to figure out. #1, right off the bat, there is not enough headings and things like that. And how do I know this? If I go into, let's just go to Holtz, and let's go to when do cigars go bad. We'll pull up the first 3 links here. Do cigars go bad or expire, right? Good article, a little bit longer than ours, but good article. It's probably a little more thorough. We have do cigars go bad, right? When do cigars go bad? This is kind of a little creepy thing up here. Not really sure if I like that, but that's fine, right? Great pictures. Really like this. very short blog, so I don't know if that's a little bit on the shorter side. I do like the pictures. And then we have the cigar store, which is a very short blog. So right off the bat, I know that, hey, I could probably rank higher than most of these people, right? This is a not too competitive keyword. And what I need to do is a couple different things. Number one is I would highly recommend, if you don't already, go get SEO Minion. And I want to go analyze the on pages of all of these really quickly so we can take a look at what we need to know. Now, is this absolutely necessary? No, but I want to see what people are doing. So this has 553 words. This has 2,100 words. This has 1,545 words, right? And then if we look at our article should be right around the 1,000+ mark. Yep, 1,500 words. So it's great. So there's plenty of content on there, right? So we're definitely in that area. But what we're missing is, right, we have positions, we have headings right here, show all headings. We only really have headings 2 and 3 and 1, right? But maybe these, let's just take a look at them. Headings 2 and 3, okay, good. All right, show all headings, 2, 3, 3, perfect. More headings in here, 2, 2, 2. Okay, so this gives us a really good spot in the fact that, hey, there's a bunch of H2 headings in here. There's some H2s and H3s in here. There's also some H2s and H3s in here. And then ultimately, we have H2s and H3s, which is great. This is a good place to start. It's well structured. I'd like to see a couple more pictures in there, and we'll go back and add those pictures. But as far as a baseline, this is a really, really good baseline for where we're at. We're on the first page of Google, even though we're in position 10. So the next thing I want to look at is I actually want to go back to Google. And what I want to do is start reading. And when do cigars go bad? Cigars 101, famous smoke shop, right? How long do cigars last? Short answer is premium cigars will last somewhere between about a week or two to so on, right? 4 ways to identify if a cigar has gone bad. 4 major ways to tell if a cigar went bad. How long do cigars last without humidor? I guess we're not Englishing today. Do cigars go bad or get better with age? Okay, that's a great one. Do cigars go bad over time? Right, and we want to what we really want to look at is by this time you should understand why the answer to this question of do cigars go bad is almost always no, although the aging process is ... So right around I want to say it's like 160 characters or so is when Google decides to truncate it and all that kind of stuff. So now that we've already read these, we already know, hey, what does ours say? The leaves are humidified because moisture in the cigar is crucial. If it's too dry, the cigar's taste, consistency, and construction fall apart. The integrity of the cigar goes ... Now that's actually pretty good, right? But why are we not ranking in Google? So there's a couple different factors that I want to look for. Number one is, do I have a catchy enough title? So can cigars go bad? How do you tell? Now, if you look at all these, do cigars go bad or expire, right? When do cigars go bad? Do cigars go bad, right? Do cigars go bad over time? Do cigars go bad or get better with age? How long do cigars last without a humidor? Like, these are all things to take into consideration, but we may be able to craft a much better title. That's number one right off the bat. Recreating your title can actually help improve your click-through rate. And the reason why is because Google is constantly testing who deserves the number one spot on Google, or at least to be on the first page of Google, right? So by creating a better title and description or meta description underneath this, which is number 2, your meta description, this is going to drastically help us increase our spots. So cigars will typically start yielding the best flavors after around 5 years. Whoops. And you have, the cigars, the cigar slowly loses its nicotine content, and in a few months, its flavor will be completely lost. Then, even if it's rehumidified, which will be ... right? And this is cool. It's actually giving videos. Do cigars go bad? Right? Left the cigar out of a humidor. This is all really, really good stuff. But we have to figure out, 1, can we craft a better headline? 2, can we craft better metadata in here? And then ultimately 3, are there any touch-ups or things that we need to add to our blog that can actually help it go through and be a better blog, right? So what causes cigars to go bad? So I'm going to fire up our WordPress here, and I've already opened it up. And I want to go out to our posts. And I want to type in here, cigars go bad. And I'm just typing in there, enough information that it'll pull it up. And there it is. Can cigars go bad? Perfect. I'm going to open this up. Now, I would always recommend, if you're using WordPress, you should always have Yoast installed. It's simply a no-brainer. And this is really where you can go through and you can edit. So Can Cigars Go Bad? And this is going to give you the options to not only edit it, but you're going to be able to grab your metadata, permalinks, anything like that. You have your categories in here. You have your tags, any new additional tags, a featured image, right? We have a featured image of a cigar in here, excerpt, if there's any excerpt from it. And ultimately, this is what we are going to be able to see. All of this inside of here. Now, what we're going to want to do is we're going to look at these, and right off the bat, I see that this probably needs to be a little bit better spaced out compared to the rest of this here. And let me see if I can space this out. It's going to give me a hard time. It is going to give me a hard time. Can we get rid of this number? Okay. So right off the bat, I know that there's an issue with this. So basically, I'm going to go through and I'm going to format a couple different things. Number one is I want to make sure that this bad smell actually relates to a different heading as opposed to bad smell, right? And this is getting a little finicky. I apologize here. Stale tasting, right? Perfect. We have Grammarly, and Grammarly's giving us a good thumbs up on this whole thing, which is phenomenal. I'm actually going to take this. I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to just remove this completely here. I want to add in another section. Paragraph. Perfect. And that's how we're gonna segregate those. Same thing. I just want to break these up really quickly. Nope, I'm messing up the formatting here. So this is going to be something that I'm going to have to play with as far as formatting, but I really wanted to separate this because this doesn't lead directly into the rest of it here. So I want to make sure that this is absolutely separated. That way it just reads a little bit better. Now I definitely want to probably go back and add a couple pictures, but for the sake of time and saving this is more technical stuff you can go through here, right? Maybe it's, you want to highlight all of these. So cigar mold, maybe it's bolded. Whoops. Cigar mold is bold. Right, we have stale taste, overly damp or too dry, bad smell, right? These are all good headlines. And then we have insufficient moisture, which I definitely think could probably be a heading. And whoops, that whole thing is a heading. And I want to make sure that this insufficient moisture is going to show up either as a heading or at least bold. So in this case, I'm just going to use bold. And these are all the telltale signs. Now, I have to go through and number these, and I got to make sure that this is formatted correctly, but you get the gist, right? Elementor is a little finicky sometimes, but it does the job for the most part. So now that I have all of this done, right? Insufficient moisture, bad smell, overly too damp, and I want to put these numbers in front of it. I'm going to mess around with this because it's being a little bit more of a pain in the butt than it normally would be. I'm going to add great tasting in here. But this is really where we want to look at it. So modifier meta description, right? Can cigars go bad? And this is really what it's automatically pulling something, but I want to make sure that I give it a meta description. And this is something not only for this post, but I want to make sure that all posts going forward have a meta description, because if they don't, chances are pretty good Google's almost not even going to show them. Now, Elementor is smart enough to say, hey, here's your description and things like that, and it may try different things. But now that I've already researched and know, hey, what are all of these? I want to spend some time going through this and really reading and looking for, cigars, should a cigar feel in your mouth, right? I want to write something catchy, something interesting, so that we have the slug and then the meta description. So we have poor humidity, right? We have insufficient moisture, which I would consider that as poor humidity, excess moisture, stale taste. I mean, these are pretty much the two main things. We have humidity, yes, right? This is all stuff that I'm just looking for all this kind of information, right? So poor humidity, I'm going to change poor humidity to over or excessive or insufficient moisture. That's the word I'm looking for. So now it says, can cigars go bad if not cared for? Cigars can go bad if not cared for properly. Some of the leading reasons are excess moisture or insufficient moisture, this is how to tell it's bad. Right? Simple enough. And the cool part is if you have Yoast installed, it'll actually tell you like, hey, you're like at the breaking point of all of this information. And then that's it. You're really done. The slug, can cigars go bad? How do you tell? Is fine. I'm totally okay with that. I really don't think that it really needs to be anything more than that. Can cigars go bad? How do you tell? And it's going to be bottle and ash. But that's really it. And now we want to hit update and we'll save it. And that's really all it's going to do. So now after a few minutes, now it's updated. It's going to go through and Google's going to update it and all that kind of stuff. And then over the next couple weeks, I want to make sure that, hey, I know that I need to go in here and I need to check out do cigars go bad and how are we ranking for that? Did we increase our ranking or did we hurt our ranking? And what I would recommend is if this is something that you want to do, and it's a bit of a time consuming process. This is not something that, you know, you could go and buy a software that's going to solve all your problems. You need to go through this step by step on each and every article, especially and really mainly for articles that you're ranking in the top 40 spots for, because you really want to get to the first page of Google. So making these necessary changes and things like that are going to help you tremendously when it comes to your blog and any articles like that. Along with that, I also want to include one thing that I just saw where this is still trying to figure out its spot online. And when I say that, if we go to the blog here, I'm going to close out of SEO Minion. You'll actually be able to see, I believe we don't have dates up. Typically, there's going to be a date involved with all of this. Now, I could tell the date based on the performance, but if you don't have dates, just know that, like, hey, this article is written, right? Google's still trying to find the position of it and, like, the basic, you know, where it should belong. So it's been in, you know, these major breaks as far as these orange lines go. Let me pull this down here. Means that Google really only just found out about it in the beginning of January, right? If I pull this all the way out to 6 months here, you'll be able to see, you know, really kind of like where it started. Okay, so it's been up there for a little while, but Google really didn't know. It was testing and testing and testing, right? Typically around the 8-month mark is usually where you know, hey, this is a good spot or a bad spot, but it's showing consistently in position 9 and 10, sometimes position 11, depending on the day. And that's all really good to know. Like, this can help me make better decisions, but I know that it's just still coming out of here. So I might need to go look at this again in 3, 6, 9 months from now and go back and say, okay, great. 1, do I need to make any tweaks on my article? Because maybe my article is currently outdated. And then 2, not only do I need to make any tweaks, but is my title as good as it possibly can be, right? And coming back and refining and refining and refining. So I hope this video helps. I know it's a little bit of a long one and it's a little bit more detailed, but this is the same process that you have to go through on every single article. It's a laborious and time-consuming task, but when you do, this is the difference between ranking number 1 on Google and ranking number 10 or 20 or 30 on Google. So I hope you guys found value in this. This is something that we do all the time. If you need help with this, please leave a comment down below. I'd love to help you guys out with it. If you guys found value in this, or this is something that you want to implement, hit that like button, hit that little subscribe button, and my little notification bell here. My name is Harrison Barron, the Millennial Entrepreneur, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.